What's going on? I'm Aiden B.
John Q. You already know I got an opinion.
What's up? It's Slim, Terex. What's up, Terex?
Hey, you're tuned into Across the Waves. Today, we have a very, very, very special guest. We're joined by a media entrepreneur who has built a name for himself through creativity, business, and storytelling in the media industry. We're excited to talk with him about his journey, his work, and what it takes to succeed in media today. Help us welcome the bishop, the pastor, James Harris.
Y'all gotta chill. Y'all gotta chill. All right, man.
First
Glad
of all,
to be here. Glad
thank
to be
you
here,
for
man.
taking time out of your busy schedule, touring with Kirk Franklin and Ty Tribbett. And, shouting on stages and
Gotta give him his flowers.
wearing Balenciagas.
Okay, we didn't have to do that either.
All right, so let's get straight into the interview. Tell us a little bit about your experience in media at Bowie State as a student.
As a student, wow. I was a young kid I moved in my summer. So I did Bulldog Academy at first, and I came from Connecticut. Coming from Connecticut, didn't really know much about HBCU culture or anything like that in general, right? I just came in, just hitting the ground running, and they came across a man. I was in, I think, Broadcast 101, 102, something like that. I can't remember now. But I do know the man's face. I know I can hear him in the back of my head right now, even as we speak. Dr. Otis Thomas.
James.
Dr. Otis Thomas. And he was just speaking some language and verbiage in that class that had me intrigued and had me interested into the field. I did some stuff in high school. I was filming in a local ministry here in the area at that particular point in time. Fell in love with graphics, fell in love with, pro presenters and all the other stuff that we got going on in the church world today. And then I came up to him and I said, hey, I come from this experience and in my background and faith and things like that, but I really want to be a part of what's going on here, become more involved in BSU TV. So you had the likes of Big John, you had John Spears, who was working with BET as well, Double at the time. And I was like, yeah, this is the type of world that I'm trying to lock into. And I was a little bit of a rebel. I wasn't a 4.0 student. It's a start. I was skipping classes. It's all right. I was like, no, like this is what I came here to do. This is what we're paying for. I'm gonna lock in, go into TV broadcasting, learn about the switchers, learn about all the cameras, learn about what it takes to run the football games, the basketball games, to film you all with the band at the time. It was a lot of the band director at my undergrad. But shout outs to y'all, making it work and all the things. So we were just building teams and forming media production since then. And we had a good crew. It was like 4 or 5 of us that was always taking every single event. At the time, Megan Thee Stallion wasn't hot yet, but she was at the homecoming. So we had her, and then we had a few others at those homecoming years that just made it dope. And I think for us, we just saw the height of what Bowie State could come into, because we had Kyle on the mic, in my undergrad, and a lot of the SGA was also Cozy. Was also my undergrad, and it was just a really important, pivotal time with like these people that I consider legends of Bowie State, and we kind of like came under that wing. And I had this conversation every now and then talking about, okay, we all go to Bowie State now. Back then in Monterey, we went to an HBCU. Yeah. it was a legit HBCU. Like we had the Black Power movement. We had like
the Power.
Oh yeah. We was in. It was locked in, Doc. We was locked in. So that was my life here at Bowie State. And graduated 2019, yo.
I could see James now in all black.
Shooting the event. Woo! Boy, I had a dashiki on. I had my hair growing out at the time.
Oh, Lord.
And then I went down to South Carolina and cut my hair off, and it came right back and graduated 2019. My 4 years was different. My 4 years was very, very different. I don't know if that's ever talked about inside here. But it went from Bowie State in 2015, and then took a semester off, went to Benedict College in South Carolina for 2 years, and then came back to Bowie State and graduated.
Wow. Well, I wanted to take it back to earlier when you were talking about taking your first class with OT. Very special man. We all know OT.
Yes,
so what was your first interaction, or like, what exactly did OT mean to you like throughout your collegiate career?
So my first class with OT, he was always the one to give me, of course, the kudos because he saw the potential, but also the real of what broadcast and what high executives were looking for. So it always was about the shot. Like, James, you gotta get the shot. Gotta get the shot. And don't get the back of people's heads. Don't nobody wanna see the back of heads. So it's like this old man fatherly wisdom talk that got so indoctrinated in the back. And he come from a older generation. I had to realize that. And so with me coming in, we both respect each other's work ethic. He knew that I came from a faith background, and he appreciated that because I was always very level-headed. I wasn't more so looking always to do the extra events, but more so locking in for if I do come to see, President Bro, who's now coming in at her first year. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. We'll talk about the first class. I'm gonna fast forward to 2019. 2019, I graduate. I'm in the line, and OT always gave me that confidence. This is now 4 years of me rocking with OT. I'm still graduating, dean, cum, whatever I was at the time, and rocking that with BSU TV and stuff like that. I'm interning. He gave me opportunity. He gave me chance. He gave me like the actual job, and we was making good money in my year. We was making good money. I wasn't really like that opportunity wasn't granted to a lot. So that just values the level of trust. So now we're going into commencement now, and this is Dr. Bro's first commencement outside on Bowie State home grounds. This is her first ever commencement, not gonna lie to you. So it's May 19th, 2019. I can't never forget the date, and because it's my day before my wife graduated at UArts, so it's like a whole weekend celebration. Anyway, so we're not streaming, and we're like literally on the ground, like we're past the gate. Y'all about to get there soon. Like what's y'all dates?
I graduated in the winter.
Winter. Okay. Winter. We all went to spring and spring. So congratulations. And spring, we literally at the gate where Dr. Bro is about to enter in. She's literally like the first entry, and then we're after her. So I'm on the top of the hill, and I'm hearing, because I also, among me graduating, I set up the broadcast.
The morning of?
No, the day before, because I said I was graduating. So the day before, I already set everything for the most part. Of course, you have production companies that kind of like do their separate entities and things like that. But I made the link myself. So I'm on to tapping the link. Everybody don't have access to the link. I mean, but it's public. And I've seen that we're not streaming. I go all the way down from the top of the hill. And everybody's trying to stop me. Everybody's trying to stop me because, like, who is this kid literally at the gate, not where he's supposed to? He's supposed to be in the college arts and sciences section. He's at the presidential section. And so I'm at the president section, and I go to doctor, and they're stopping me literally. And one of the members said, "You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be up there." I said, "Lady, we're not streaming right now. I'm telling you, we're not streaming. Look at this link." I showed up right, and Dr. Bro is standing right here. Standing right there, and I could see at the side of her eye, she's very locked in. I said, "We're not streaming." She said, Like her eyes went that way, and she's hearing the conversation, and it was just a funny moment because at the end of the day, I believe there was a faculty meeting and in the end, and Dr. Bro thanked the College of Arts and Sciences, specifically BSU TV, that helped facilitate the streaming process so that way international students could also see as well too. So to this day, if you let Dr. Thomas tell that story, you're gonna hear 1,000,001 different funny things. But also to that end, you're gonna hear like some acknowledgement, and that just goes a testament of our relationship.
No, he's a very special person, and he means a lot to the entire communications department.
Yes, sir.
Especially across the waves.
Yeah.
Yes,
As
sir.
consistent as he might be.
And let
gotta love
and let me say this: throughout the years, I think he started in, I want to say 2000 or 2000, seen somewhere between 2000 and 2004. And he always has been consistent. He's always stayed that way, always having the most integral heart. He's a gem on Bowie State campus. And no matter wherever walk in life that you are at Bowie State, he will always ensure that you're going to walk out of here and graduate across that stage. Always helping out for an opportunity, always letting the helping hand. He's kind of like one of those, he's one of those saints, I don't going to say disciples, but like in that same vein where there's going to come a time, there's going to come a day where we're all going to be understanding of when the judgment will come. I'll put it that way. And there's going to be an account for what Dr. Thomas is going to do or what Dr. Thomas has done. And God is going to be like, yeah, you already automatically in. I saw you when you let that person in cross the stage last night. I saw what you did last year, the year before that, helping so many students with no reward back. As much as, he may be talked about, on the campus, good or bad, you can't say that he hasn't helped you across the stage.
Literally.
So you talked about getting opportunities and being able to work as an intern. So how important is networking in the media industry? How big is that?
I'm telling you, specifically here in the DC area, DC, Maryland, there's a small pool of Black filmmakers, and so part of my mission tonight actually is going to attend an event of another film screenplay that's about to take place at the Eden Hotel. So I'm making it a mission to contact and be a part and be in attendance of that event. Just to be poured into, just to literally be locked in. Because you have events even here like inside the Fine Arts, Prince George's Community Film Festival, Prince George's Film Festival. And so you see mostly the same faces. Like, as a matter of fact, when I did a gospel concert recording, when I did a recording for a international, I'm not gonna say it, but it was some of those same faces, if not like the producers, the high filmmakers and things like that. And the same event that I did then, same faces you see now. And some of them were even a small pool of them to what my understanding is Black women, right? And so I highly encourage networking at all costs, especially in the field that we're in. I mean, in any area, right? But there's so much opportunity to learn and to understand this business, because this business, they'll try to take a lot from you. And I learned a very high important thing yesterday, as a matter of fact. It wasn't even pertaining to film, it was more so pertaining to the music industry. Specifically for my dad, he's been on the road and making many records for countless time now. And so there's conversations about music and what the impact that he has laid, and seeing how can we attain some of that. And so I almost looked at the music industry like the stock market. I said, man, we just never know what's about to happen. And that also pertains to networking too. Like, because I meet you, you may be the filmmaker, you may be the scorer. if I collaborate with you in that, a sense, builds a couple of different things, especially if you own the film. If you own the film, then you retain all
Everything's
that.
in-house.
But also, if you own the film, then you retain that production value, as opposed to if you don't own the film, and if you don't own the music and someone else does, then the owner of that particular creativity owns the piece and you get a small percentage of it. So I was like, we just never know in this industry when in the next 5 years, the next You Deserve It may go 10 million crazy, right? Because we just don't know. It's almost like the stock market. Like, one day Tesla may be up and then Tesla will probably go all the way down. I don't see that happening. But I mean, look at the AI chips, look at Bitcoin, look at all this stuff, right? I'm saying all that to say is because collaboration is so key in the area of networking, and because if we make a creative piece right now, the next 5 years it'll blow up and we all retain that, So I kind of look at networking now in that sense, because if I collaborate with you, like my guy, another individual I'm working with, he is doing a special piece towards men and women who have lost their parents, who lost their mother. And so with that, if I collaborate on that piece, and if you have a high value actor or actress that collaborates on that piece, then that essentially produces the production value of the actual film. So I always encourage networking because you just never know who you're sitting next to, and what stories can be birthed out of that.
Yeah. The importance of networking.
So we know that you have quite a successful career today. You've worked with many, many great names that many, many people know that we don't have to go into details about. But what keeps you at Bowie, despite, I'm sure, the many opportunities that you have to leave Bowie and work anywhere else?
I love this question because I've been asked this like many times, several times. So I have to understand what answer I'm giving you. Specifically with Bowie State, I don't know. There is, I don't know where my life leads to in the next 5 years, right? And I'm not saying that I just hold Bowie as like the safe all end all. I really look at it as opportunity to pour into the next generation, no matter what area that looks like. And so, is it training ground for me? I've pretty much at this point in my life, I've done what I tentatively can. I've been here for like 10 years now. If you think about at least 10 years, from 2015 to 2026, been here for 10, 11 years, right? I've seen a lot happen. I've literally seen the new construction building. I've seen the new MLK. We're gonna have a new library soon. All these great, marvelous things that was not here in my undergrad, right? I've felt like technically and from a production value standpoint, I've given my best. I'm still leaving footprints. And then so part of that is also like I can't leave until I've officially left all my marks. But beyond that, I always look at the next generation student, because I remember in my undergrad, I was looking between another HBCU and Bowie State. With Bowie State being the choice, there is the opportunity to look at social media, at YouTube, to see the energy and the involvement of the campus. At my time in Bowie, it was not there. At my time in Bowie, there was no social media. There was not anything in relation to broadcast on the front page. And so I then look at the high school tours that come this way, and there's interest in Bowie by seeing the Experience Bowie State page, by seeing the BSU TV page, by seeing the Bowie State University page. There's a lot of pages, right? So there's interest in coming. I always value Bowie State for being the top premier school locally within the area. I don't think that there's many opportunities outside of that, just by alone what's happening in the communications building. So part of me is like, okay, I have to sharpen my skills so that the next generation that's after me, they'll say, not only did I learn from James Hairston, but also I surpassed James Hairston. And I don't think that I'm there yet until I see that. So that's part of the reason why I do stay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, with that being said, like in the next 5 years, when you look at it, do you feel like you would still be here doing exactly what you're doing now, in a 5-year timeline from now?
I always will give opportunities to in my life and my career to pour back into Bowie State. I see people that do. I stand on the shoulders of many great alumni and many great people. Like if we look at, not to say, a lot of great alumni, I always see them show face and to come back in some area. And so specifically like within the communications department, there's so much in there that I just wish that students can look and say, wow, what I saw in this studio is exactly what I saw at CBS. Like it's locally here.
Yeah.
And I do myself a disservice if I don't study that myself. I do myself a disservice if the next 4 years of a graduate comes later and they don't understand, or there's gonna become a test that's gonna hit there as well. And they're gonna have to give an account for exactly what they know. And if they say that, hey, you guys got all this equipment here, but I don't see it being operated, then that offends me. That I take that very personal, because it's not necessarily on that freshman or that student that's enrolled in the department of communications. It's more so on the leadership or the teaching value.
Yeah, I definitely think like with all the all the stuff that they put into the new communications building, all the equipment, all the software and everything, it's like there's so much potential and so much stuff that could be being utilized and things like
100%.
that. And me and Aiden, since we've got here, we've tried to do our best with using these tools and doing the best we can. So hopefully, as the years go by, these students will realize like the opportunity that's literally standing right in front of them. Like,
And
A lot of
honestly,
schools don't have this professional equipment to like for example, like the Black Magic switchers and all that stuff. Like that is state of the art. It's tools.
Yeah.
and honestly, I used to be mad about. Well, not mad. I used to be frustrated about it a little bit, because I would be like, OT, why are you forcing these kids to use this equipment that they have no interest in? But he's pushing you out of your comfort zone. And like looking back at it now, it's like I literally had no interest in radio at all. And I was just sitting in the back of the class. Almost didn't go to class that day either. Sitting in the back of the class, and then OT was like, hey, come up here and host a show. Host a show. 15 minutes, host a 15-minute show. Don't cuss, or it's shot. And it's just like, I like how OT kind of forces everybody to get uncomfortable, and then you watch people come to love what he's doing. So
I'll tell you this, I learned this in South Carolina too. I was in a similar situation at Benedict. At the time, it was a new a communications building, and we were basically on the 3rd floor. That's very weird, but well, not really. We were on like the 3rd floor of that specific building, and all new equipment, TriCaster, green screen, 3D visual sets, interactive, type of stuff. But none of the faculty at that particular time knew how to operate it. So they paid for the training. And in myself, I got trained on what that equipment looked like. So I was vaguely familiar. But at the time, similar to that season, we were doing the same thing. Like, and I even encourage you all to keep going because we had events or we had shows and talent that we went off site, and that's when I started doing all this. What we're doing here in this production right now. We had the 3 camera setup. We had these cheap lights, that we probably bought from Amazon or what have you, and we had we had Canon T5s. That's a joke for somebody else. We had Canon T5s and the audio, we didn't even have audio mics and nothing like that. We just literally ran off of the camera and we didn't really understand audio at the time. Mind you, the technology there was no such thing as like Bluetooth, like as far as like microphones and DJIs and all that stuff is considered now. Like now it's very friendly. So yeah, we were doing that in South Carolina, but what that taught me was that we had to become the underdogs. We had to prove people wrong. We had to prove the institution or the stereotype of the institution wrong that says that nothing good can come out of it because nobody learned how to do it, right? So we had to fight that for years. And even at Bowie State, I can sense a little bit of that same energy because I'm seeing now that the technology that is within the culture, there are the cameras and there's the technology that allows us to branch out and have the microphone and have the cameras and have all the things and to luckily then pursue a career in podcasting or a career in showing your best efforts, right? So I always encourage, like, in your undergrad, like, y'all don't wait for me. Like, just don't. Like, have a concept and know who you are prior to you getting here. Because I'm going to tell you, once I learn this equipment, I'm pushing you fast. And it's not going to take me long. I will push you to become the next version of what your broadcast career could end up being. And you could take a look at all the resumes and all the stuff that you want. Bottom line is that when you come into those, seeing that camera is red, it's on you now. And that's exactly what OT did for a lot of us. OT, he knew how the equipment in some aspects knew how to be operational. And as long as you hit that red, no matter if it's 5 viewers, 1 viewer, or 300 viewers, somebody's hearing you and somebody's listening, somebody's watching, and you're streamed all over. When he says, all right, we're BSU TV, we're streaming all around the world, you could hear us in Canada. It's probably true. It's probably not.
But it don't matter. You're streaming on Netflix.
But if we do stream on Netflix and we got that deal,
yeah.
you better be prepared. I ain't taking and I'll tell OT right now, I ain't taking no rookies.
Yeah.
I don't take rookies. Now when we on Netflix, now when we got more than 50 people, I will tell OT, I work with who I work. I work with Aiden. I work with y'all. I work with I work with some of the best reporters. Back in my day, I'm gonna be old. Back in my day, we had the best reporters. I mean, Dayana Young was killing it. Carissa Fox was killing it. She's Fox reporter, Fox over in LA now. We had we had Taylor. Yeah. We had Taylor was so good when I first started working here that we thought she should just do her own show. And that's what I tell the next generation too. I was like, Aiden, if you that kid right now, you gotta teach the next kid. Because it ain't gonna be on OT to be over a certain time period and then he's still teaching the same thing he taught Aiden. Yeah. It's a passing of a torch. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that's what I love to see. And that's honestly what makes me stay most of the time because I'm just like, all right, what they gonna do next? Yeah. You know, I've literally seen interviewees be so good that they interviewed Dr. Bro. They went from Dr. Bro interviewing to Westmore. Next thing you know, they interviewing the president. Yeah, I've literally seen that. Someone in the White House correspondence, Governor Hope, Governor Westmore, Mayor Tim Adams. I've seen all that happen in front of my very eyes. And I just be looking at a couple of people over here in the communication. I'm like, y'all killing the game now, dog. you gotta keep pushing, you gotta keep going because you're taking us further.
Yeah.
You're taking our name further now. I know that's a lot, but
No, there's a lot of talented people on this campus.
Definitely.
A lot of talented people.
Ryan Lynch,
Ryan Lynch for sure.
Sydney Chesters.
That's another one.
She's working at CBS now.
Yes.
Dream.
It's
a lot. Brooke
and
was good too.
Dream been awful. I mean, Dream got to come back. I miss Dream. Where my
Dream.
I need Dream back. I need Dream back. Who else you say?
Sydney.
Sydney, yes.
Chester. Definitely Ryan. Brooke. I don't know her last name.
Yes.
MC, of course.
MC, yeah. And MC was radio personnel, but he got that from, it was, in my time, it was DJ Freeze. Y'all know Freeze?
Nope.
Freeze was Radio 1. Freeze was, he was one of the DJs that kind of introduced, so, dang, I don't know if y'all know, anyway, I see his face in my head. It went from Freeze, and then it went to a few more others, and then went to basically MC.
Yeah.
So, but I just love that progression of like the next generation. So,
So, what does a normal day look like for you?
which day are we talking? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
Any day. That's what you call fame. That's different schedules for different days.
It's different schedules for different days.
Let's say a Monday.
Well, okay, all right. Monday, we had Diamond Gym.
150 burpees.
150 burpees. Yeah, that's nothing now. No, okay. Okay then.
Shout out Diamond Gym. They called out JJ Hairston.
They did. We cooked, bro.
I'll go there.
It's all.
The second burpee, I'm gonna be on the ground.
You want to be on camera?
I'm just be on the ground.
I'll give you the camera if you want. You still gonna get called out.
Okay. He caught up the camera.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna hold you to it. No. So then we got drop off. I mean, my days. I ain't gonna be. It ain't like that. It's very systematic though. So it will like look like from the kids to coming here, locking in, and then we going out to rehearsal schedules and things like that. The interesting thing is like just the random calls that would come up. So that's where it gets like very, if it ain't on the calendar, it don't exist. It don't exist. So every day is a little different. I've come to realize, you know what? It's so crazy because someone had this conversation with me yesterday, and it was like I picked something up about you. I was like, first of all, I didn't respond yet, cause that gets interesting. So they said I picked something up about you, and I said, what in my mind? Said you're very systematic. If anything is not on your particular day schedule, then and if it doesn't align, you won't go through with it. But I appreciate that because it shows the level of respect and accountability that you have towards yourself and towards others. But also, like, I just want you to pick a day to rest. Like, I need you to rest and lock in for yourself. So now I've been on that journey of discovering my peace and discovering outside of here what is James Hairston IV like. If you would have asked me 2 years ago what is J4 like, I couldn't give you that answer because I always considered myself to be just work, right? I always considered myself to literally live inside of work. So now with me being a father of two, I've had to ask myself, well, what is James Hairston IV as a son, as a father, as a husband, as the person that's involved in ministry, not only serving in ministry, but working in ministry. So that's literally like 5 calendars we're judging right now, alongside the BSU TV technician, as well as just simply who is J4. So that's literally like 6 to 7 calendars, 6 to 7 worlds. And that's the hardest thing to judge. Because if someone were to ask me for a gig, I'm like, okay, it got to make sense not only for myself, for me to come out, but all of these calendars now I have to judge for me to even say yes, because I've realized that something has to give. It's a sacrifice being who you are, and sometimes you have to die to that. You have to die.
James takes 7 calendars this big and just throw them all out on the
Yeah,
floor.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
That is very true though.
But that's good.
To make room for something else, you have to give up something else.
So is it worth giving up?
Is it worth
something
giving up
else
something
at that
else?
time?
That's a word.
Hello.
I'm telling you.
Just go ahead and get your Bible and stand
I'm telling you, it's not for the weak. And I caution everybody who, it gets real different. It just gets real different. Anyway.
Could you ever see yourself like working in a different career if you had the opportunity?
Absolutely.
My bad, man. My bad.
Anybody gotta ask you that? No.
It's not.
Absolutely. But again, it gotta make sense.
Yeah.
It would take a lot for me to forsake one for the other.
Yeah.
And I have to look at all things time. Especially here in DC. There's just so much opportunity. And so much that Bowie State has prepared me for. But again, it just gotta make sense. And it hasn't been all Bowie State. Sometimes I think that, you have to go outside to pour back into Bowie State. So in some ways, I'm still doing both. Right. There's one area of life that I've gained more confidence, and then coming back to Bowie State, I'm like, this is actually how we do it. So I am still giving element of confidence to Bowie State from other experiences. It's not just all one thing, and I think that I love that for me, because it helps me understand that there's life outside, and it helps me understand that you're not gonna allow people to box you into one space, because depending on what area you're in, not just necessarily Bowie, depending on what area you're in, people will have a real easy time to try to manipulate you into a corner. It's very easy to do that. It's either by comparison, it's by comparing you to another, or comparing you to your former. And it gets very interesting. It was like, you did that. Yeah,
Oh, sorry. Comparing you to your former.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
You speaking prophetic.
That's like, it could be, 2 years ago you used to do this, and why don't you give that same energy no more? I've maxed. I've seen the end of it. I've seen where that got me. It's like, a lot of people, I used to be known for being a recap king on tour. And then I progressed into AV because I got tired of doing post-production for recaps. I don't know if this is going to make the final cut or not, but like, I just got tired of that because it was kind of like the crack game, honestly. Like, doing something for so long feels like the crack game, if you think about it. Because in this generation, there's so many people that's doing the same exact thing. So it's like, you ain't producing or delivering what you did 2 years ago, and yet there's someone else that is doing it, if not better than you. So how can you then not only match what you did, but now I'm comparing you to the other person that's doing it better. And I didn't come in the game like that. I just came to have fun. I came to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I came to make make some ends meet and things like that, and go on the road. And to tell stories, right? But now we have a lot of different pools of producing, and that's not what I came in to do. I came in to learn everything. I came in to learn AV. I came in to learn about lights and fall off. I came in to learn about diffusion. I came in to learn about audio. Like, I'm a rookie when it comes down to audio, but because I didn't box myself into one thing, now I'm able to have conversations with audio and lighting to say, this is how a production can be produced. right? So I don't know what the original question was.
It was if you could choose a different career or go into a different career.
Absolutely, because I had the capacity to do so. I had the capacity to explore. I had the capacity to judge and to go into this space and have a conversation, go into that space and have a conversation about black magic switchers versus Ross, or Nan Light versus Aperture and things like that, or Midas versus Behringer, or Behringer versus the other JBL speakers versus Meyer speakers. Like, it's actually a fun conversation now because you get to see like how it all again fits together. And that's where I think the next conversation is. It's just more so not individually going into one field, but also learning how one field can make relationship with the other field. I think that's because if I were to just be the social media person, I'd get bored.
Yeah.
That opens more opportunities for you as well.
Yeah.
To be able to be like, okay, I can understand sound. I know how to do post production. I know how to do run a video board, like live versus post production. All that type of stuff. So it just opens you up to more money too.
Absolutely.
That's why they say, like, music-wise, that's why they say everybody should learn how to read music, because then, and everybody should learn how to play multiple instruments and do different things.
You know,
it gives
to
you more
that point, my mentor had this analogy because he teaches at Texas Southern. He's a professor. And he actually gave me a lot of hope with staying at one institution, even though he has a million other things that he could be doing. So very, like, I'm seeing myself in him, and he's like at least 20 years older than me, right? So he had this analogy. He was talking to a group of students in his grad. So I had the pleasure of being there just to check his teaching. So I've been there twice. The one conversation he had, he was like, compare your favorite actress to the modern day comedian, or your favorite actress to, or your favorite singer to the modern day rapper, things like that. But specifically within narrative versus skit, right? So let's talk about, I want you to answer, where is Sanaa Lathan right now?
Shooting best man.
Right, right. So that's a classic, right? Yeah. Where's Drewski?
Doing
all over the place.
Exactly. Exactly. But if Drewski were to come down this hall right now, would an entourage follow him?
Absolutely.
If Sanaa Lathan would come down right now, would she get the same attention as a Drewski?
No.
But did Sanaa Lathan get the same get a better? Can we agree that Sanaa Lathan had the training, the knowledge, the experience, the scripts, versus the 30 to 60 second videos that are produced at high quality? We can agree that Sanaa Lathan had a knowledge-based experience that at any level, right? Not just only in 30-second 60s, but also at any level, she can meet you at a Love and Basketball. She can meet you at a Best Man Holiday. She can meet you at a many plethora of movies that she has, whether it be not necessarily romance novel, but also in the area of fear or scare or that type of theme or genre, thriller, right? Versus a one elemental character. And that's where the conversation then becomes about training and experience, because I've worked myself to be here. I've worked and I studied the predecessors that are before me, and I studied the, what my area took to be here. And that's no knock against anybody. It's not. It's just a matter of how hard you wanted to work in your specific discipline, or if not all the disciplines.
Yeah. That was a good. That was me speechless.
I don't know what to say.
Dropping some gems.
I don't know.
Knowledge bites.
I don't know what to say, man.
College students, adults, high schoolers, middle schoolers, everybody needs to listen to this and take notes. So this is our question of the season. I believe last season our question was, what was the question? What advice would you give to a college student that is in your field?
Yeah.
But our question for this season came from Calvin. Shout out Calvin. But what does, first of all, support is extremely important. So what does support mean to you?
That's a deep-rooted question.
Support to me, I'm on this journey right now of discovering manhood. It's the best. So, support to me looks like, hey, bro, I want to see you at your best. It looks like to me, hey, we just worked out this morning. I could put, like, let's push what you did last week. You was at 135, let's push to 185. Who was out? Come to Diamond Gym.
135 to 185 is a jump.
It is.
That's a jump.
Calm down.
But I like that. You may not hit that 185, but you gonna get past that 135.
You gonna get past that
He
135.
ain't say nothing though.
Yeah. Coming down slight.
No.
Yeah, it looks like we pushed that hard. It looks like, hey man, breathe, take a moment. It looks like, yo, let's hit up Starbucks or Panda afterwards. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about, you as a man. Let's talk about you as a father. Let's talk about your family, right? I'm hitting y'all with a lot of grown stuff right now. Yeah. I'm sorry, this ain't relation to
This is
college
what the people need
students.
to hear.
This ain't about college students at this point. But in relation to that, it looks like, hey, bro, let's go to the library. It looks like, hey, instead of at 8 o'clock, we was about to hit up 5 points, let's do our homework first and then we'll hit up Zaxby's. You know what I'm saying? It looks like, for me, having that conversation of, when I do this, y'all better be prepared.
Oh Lord. Everybody just lift your hand.
There's a scripture in Hebrews, I can't remember right now, 10 or 12, something like that. It said, your father, this is literally in the Bible, so your father did the best he could with what he knew how. But you have a spiritual father that can offer discipline to you. And discipline is painful.
Trust me, I know.
Discipline is painful. But the discipline produces character. I'm paraphrasing now at the end. But that was kind of like what I got out of it. I had a lot of conversations with my father recently. And in pertaining to such, it looks like, hey man, I'm about year 6 into owning this home. It don't look like yours. I've been living here in this house under your wing for 21 years. I got married in 22. And now I have 2 children. My life is completely different from you at this point in life, because this is your first time raising a 30-year-old son. You ain't never gonna get this experience again, God willing. You ain't never gonna get this again. I need us to step up here. That's basically word for word exactly what I said. And so with that, been on this journey of in the area of support, telling brothers exactly what brothers need. Brothers, it is good for that you are not alone, brothers, to be dwelling together in the spirit of unity. You know, right now, that's what I'm encouraging black men to do, because it's becoming dangerous to be isolated.
Phew.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's one of them 30, 60-second clips.
Oh, for real.
Yeah,
Definitely gonna clip that part.
yeah.
Woo.
But I'm mainly hearing from what you're saying is holding each other accountable, lifting each other up, supporting each other. That's really the overarching theme about support. Because that's something that, as black men, sometimes we don't always do. Kind of stay in our own corners. And then when we come together, we don't really talk about things. We don't really, we just forget about it or whatever. But it's important to have those conversations. So
For sure.
that's good that you brought
Even in the area of I know that was very family oriented for brotherhood and things like that. But the same applies to your music industry. The same applies to business, because I call my boy Adidas any other day, and I was like, hey bro, we locking in on this calendar. And also support doesn't always look like return.
Yeah. You know,
It's return and what you don't see, not what we naturally want to see. You know what I mean? So we're always looking for a monetary gain. But sometimes hey bro, it's I'm trying to do a site visit. Can you pull up? You know what I'm saying? Because iron sharpens iron as a brother do another. So it's I'm trying to see or gather your brain and put it in my brain. And same thing vice versa, because I don't have it all together. And I had to fight that for years, because especially, y'all should stop me.
What you about to say?
Y'all should stop me right now. You know what screams louder than the idea of unity and brotherhood? It's ambition. And sometimes if you want to know what ambition looks like, it looks like me. It looks like I want to do things my way. It looks like I'm not going to take your advice because I have the knowledge base myself to understand it. I'm not saying ambition in terms of I got to go get it, you know what I'm saying? And that is one form or aspect of ambition. But if ambition turns into pride, then that's where I have a problem. Because it turns into your arrogance screaming out loud. And I had to fight that myself, because the one thing that arrogance loves is praise. If you give arrogance praise and says hey, you're the best at what you do. Oh, I love that. Feed me more. What else am I gonna do great at?
Fuel to a fire.
Oh my God. It's like giving praise to anything that tries to exalt itself more. It's like I made a great song and you tell me, or I made a great social media hit and you tell me, I made a great reel and you tell me that it got over 100,000 hits. Oh yeah, it's just fiending and fiending and fiending and fiending. And it looks like also, hey, I got 100,000 hits, you got 50.
that happens way too much now. That happens way too much.
But and that's what I had to fight in my early years. So I think that's why God cut me off for certain opportunities, because he knew that I was on a trajectory of working with this artist, working with that artist in the name of Jesus also, by the way, and working with this artist and working with this artist. And magically, somehow or another, COVID happened to the point where I got cut. And then we had there was essentially just different decisions made and things like that. So I literally fought God I wasted my time for about 2-3 years, probably 4. I didn't take 5. I didn't take my life seriously until last year. And that's above me having a kid. That's above me having 2 kids. I didn't take my life seriously because I had to fight God so much with, if I'm getting this many numbers, then how come that I get and end up turned this way? And I'm having this conversation now with a lot of people because a lot of times arrogance feeds off of effectiveness. So if effectiveness means that I got over 100,000 hits, that was the goal, that was the reach, that was the mark, 100,000, boom. But the idea of unity, brotherhood, and spirituality, as far as like aligning yourself to the spirit of God, that in it of itself was disobedience. So now, if obedience is not the goal, or that's not the idea of being effective, I'm cutting off everything else. I'm sorry. Maybe that.
No, there's nothing to be sorry about.
Yeah.
I hope everybody's listening.
Yeah.
To what's being said right now.
Because I know a couple
Bro,
people
listen.
that they getting their fire fed. Mm-hmm. And then when that fire get put out,
Pride always come before the fall. Always.
like they're gonna be like a house burning, getting all that oxygen, and it's just growing and growing. The fire department comes.
But that goes back to discipline is painful.
There's like, I know we're going on, but like, think about what I just said. There's scripture references about if you want to go there, but if we were to go there, how effective would I have been if this thorn was taken out? If I had this thorn, if I did not get in the car accident, if I did not get cut or fired from my job, if I didn't have some people, if I didn't end up with the family I had, if I didn't end up with my scholarship taken away, then I would have been so much more effective, right? That's what we naturally think. If we didn't get in this accident, then I would be 10 times more effective in my craft. As opposed to, hey, maybe this discipline that is in this area of my life right now, maybe it's used for something for me to align better.
Those things happen for a reason.
It happens for a reason. And all things work together, right?
Yep.
Good.
You stand off the path and you got pushed back into line.
And then sometimes you have to go through stuff to be able to be a better you in the place that you would be before you went through it. Like if I never came to college, I would never know what it's like to push through something I don't want to do. I would never know what it's like to have to get up and go. I would probably be working on somebody's car right now rather than sitting down being filmed by 3 cameras with lights on. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to go through the hard stuff to get to the good stuff. You got to go through the storm before you can see the sunset. All right, you guys. This has been a great show.
Across the waves.
Across the waves.
This is what we're about.
This has been a great show. Thank you for
I'm ready, y'all.
dropping
y'all allowing
gems,
me to-
prophetically
allowing me
speaking.
to be myself.
Prophetically speaking.
Allow me to be myself. This is James Hairston.
Like I think we had 15 questions. I usually don't tell people how many questions we have. We had 15 questions. I think we answered. I think we asked
Maybe like
7 or 5.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7.
Man,
That's how it should be.
I gave you a lot.
I'm A and B.
John Q.
Slim Terex.
J4. What's up, y'all?
We out.
All right.